Welcome to You Make the Difference. I'm Wanda Walker, and today I'm talking to Amy Paget. Amy was the first graduate from the Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment. The Calumet Center is a ministry that helps women who've gone through trauma, and some have gone through addiction. If they've gone through addiction, then they've gone to a intensive treatment center, and they're ready to walk out their recovery. The Calumet Center helps give spiritual guidance. It helps the ladies get new employment, establish new friendships, and offers counseling. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and congratulations on being the first graduate.
Thank you.
Yes, and Calumet Center is located in Troup County, and it's fairly new. You were the first graduate and the only graduate for the first session, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your family background.
Well, I come from a very religious background, a very caring and loving family. Always been there for me, you know, even at the worst of the worst times, they were still there. I'm just proud to be part of that family.
Yes, and you were telling me earlier that both of your grandfathers were pastors, and that's pretty amazing in itself, isn't it? Yes. All right, so tell me about your life experiences.
Well, you know, I got in with the wrong crowds when I was young, and experimented with drugs. You know, I was a social user. Depending on who I was with is what I did.
Yes.
And then when my mother died, I felt like my world ended.
How old were you when she died?
I was 20,
Yes.
about to be 21, and it broke my heart.
Yes.
It broke my spirit. I got mad at God. I got mad at the world. And I didn't know how to live anymore. I didn't want to feel it.
Yes.
And I just turned to drugs. And nothing ever gets better with drugs. You only continue to decline.
Yes.
And I started getting in trouble, and you know, I lost my kids. And I finally went to a treatment in Atlanta, and I mean, you know, I got it together for a while, got my kids back, and I had no real friends, you know, no real recovery. They didn't make us do a whole lot there at that place, so I didn't know how to deal or cope with the world. And the easiest thing to do when you're in trouble is to cover it up. So I did. And I got into a lot of things out in Atlanta. Atlanta is not a nice place if you're in that part of town.
Right.
So, you know, I got in trouble again, and then I went to another treatment in Columbus, and you know, they gave me a lot of tools, and I got a lot of clean time, 5 years.
Yes.
And my biggest problem is I'm a follower, and if I get with the wrong person, I'll follow what they do. And that's pretty much what I did. I met a man and lost myself again. But through it all, I really blame it on, I never relied on God. You know, God is where you change.
Yes.
Not treatment. God is what, I mean, treatment helps. It gives you tools. Don't take that wrong. Treatment does help. But until you allow God in, nothing can change you.
Yes. And so how long were you on that path, Amy?
How long did I use drugs total?
Yes.
From age 11.
From age 11. So when your mama died, you had already started using drugs.
Yeah, but it was, you know, weekends, or I was drinking pretty regularly.
Yes.
But when my mom died, that was it.
Yeah.
I was heavy drug user.
20's very young to lose your mama.
Yeah. You still need your mama no matter what, but I still needed her a lot.
Yes. Okay, so how did you end up at the Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment?
Well, I had I started using again, and it led me to Atlanta again, and I got in trouble out there, which I was on probation here still. So they let me out, and I mean, I don't know, I had a warrant, so I don't know how they let me out. But that's when I got saved, is when they let me out, and I couldn't run anymore.
Yes.
I knew I needed to come turn myself in, and because I couldn't serve the Lord if I was running from the law.
Right.
I just couldn't. And I met a friend, and I guess I can't say her name because that's, but she told me about it.
She told you about
Calumet Center.
Oh, okay.
And because I was telling her, I just can't go. I have nowhere to go when I get out of here. Mm-hmm. I have a place, but it's not a good place, and I don't want to go there. I'd rather go sleep in a tent somewhere. She said, well, why don't you talk to such and such, and they'll get you.
Charles and Nancy?
Yeah. She said, and she got them up there. She knew them personally, so she called some of her family and told them to come up there. And, I told them my story, and I filled out the application, and they came and interviewed me. And like a week later, I was there. Yes,
that's great. So how did you get saved when you were released from the Atlanta jail? How did you get saved? You got saved before you got to the Troup County jail, is that right?
Yes. They let me out of Atlanta. I pled guilty, and they let me out. It was just a misdemeanor, so it wasn't like that big a deal out there, So I got a ride to Villarica, which is where my son was living at the time, and I sat there for a while, and I called my daddy, and I asked him to come get me, and I told him, I said, I felt it in my heart, I just need to go to church. Mm-hmm. And it just so happened that the camp meeting that I've been going to since I was born was that week. And we went that night, and I went to the altar. It happened for you. It just, I don't even think it wouldn't have mattered what was preached. I was just there. I just wanted God. And
you were ready.
I was sick and tired of being miserable and not having anything, and knowing that life would be so much easier if I just let God lead it. And it has been. I mean, of course everybody has trials. That's never going to end. That's just the way the world is. It's how you choose to deal with it and let God help you through it that makes the difference. And I mean, I've went from homeless to having a home and being able to care for my dad, and I have a relationship with my kids now, and I wouldn't trade anything in the world for it.
Yeah, and your kids are yours, and they're secure with you.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
They call me now.
Yeah.
Used to they didn't call when they had problems, but now it's like, I need my mama.
That's right.
It makes a difference.
And she can help me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got some wisdom now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what was your turning point once you went to the center? I know during the program there were some struggles in the program, right?
Well, it was a new program, and it didn't have housing yet, so I was staying off campus or whatever, however you want to say it.
Yes.
And then they got it, but somewhere I got a little lost. I was ready to give up, and it wasn't nothing that they did. It was just, I guess I needed to be around people more, and I really wasn't at that point. And but I said, no, devil, you're just not going to win this. I have got to do this. This is my life, my world. I don't want to go to hell. I want to be in heaven and
right.
Forever. And I just said, okay, I'll just work harder.
And we want to prosper in this life too,
right? Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely.
Yes. So, how dedicated were you to the program?
Whatever they asked me to do, I did.
Yes. So, in the beginning, were you dedicated?
I was.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. And so all through the program, you were dedicated to the program?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Okay. Was there any time that you wanted to quit?
Just when I lost faith in myself.
Okay.
It was nothing to do with the program. It was me.
Yes.
Me not telling them, talking. You have to do the work when you're there. They don't know unless you tell them.
Right.
I mean, they can see the signs, and they did see signs. They were like, "What's going on? Tell me what's going on." But still, at the end of the day, if I don't tell them,
they don't know.
They can't help me.
Yes, they can't help you deal with the things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how did the program help you, Amy?
They showed me that people do love you. That's the biggest thing. Is I didn't think there was good people left. Not people that I'll help you because I want it to look good.
Yes.
But they love you there. They do.
Yes.
Everybody connected to it loves you. They love you from the minute they lay eyes on you.
That's wonderful. So it's a safe place to go.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
It's a safe, wonderful, loving environment.
Yes, and Charles and Nancy Wardlaw were very instrumental in starting that program.
Yes.
Yes, and so, and people can look on the internet if they want to see how they might get into the program and benefit from the program. What are some of the most impactful things that you've learned on your journey to wholeness?
To trust. You can't make it if you don't trust people. You just can't. You got to learn to trust and love.
Yes. And you got to learn who to trust, right?
Yeah, you can't just you can't just trust anybody that comes up and says, "Hey, even the devil knows the Bible."
Yeah.
I mean,
And you got to know who to love too.
Yeah.
Or who to give your heart to, right?
Right.
Yeah. So because you were talking about sometimes we can give our heart away to somebody that leads us down the wrong path. So
it may look good and shiny and pretty and
yes,
but you got to look underneath.
Yes.
You got to see past what they're telling you.
Right.
And see what's here.
And what is the key to doing that? I know lots of times when I'm talking to people, and I know like when you first meet somebody and you really like them, it's hard to see all the things that might not be right. What do you think is a wisdom key that women can use so that they don't go down the wrong path with a guy that has wrong intentions for them?
Well, I listen to what they're saying, and the language they use and their mannerisms. Listen to how they talk to other people.
Yes.
That's a big giveaway. They're trying to impress you, but this person they already know, so you listen to how if they respect them when they talk to them.
Yes.
Which, I mean, you know, that's just what works for me. And I feel like God's gave me some discernment in people. You know, you have to learn to discern the situation. And I feel like He's opened my eyes. You know, I just don't, I don't listen to the promises. I watch the actions.
Yes. And one of our mutual friends, this is a good piece of advice that she has gleaned. She said that when she has problems with addiction, and so when she would get out of jail and she was clean, then there would be people who came around and wanted to offer her some drugs free, and to get her hooked back on the drugs. And so she said that she would just ask them, she said, "I don't need any drugs, could I just borrow some money?" And she said they would leave. So that was the tactic that she was using to get the drug users to leave her alone.
Yeah.
She said because they don't want to part with their money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They want to get you back in it.
So they can make some money.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was really insightful.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so who are some of the people that have supported you the most in your journey?
Well, you have.
Well,
you have supported me, and Nancy and Charles Warlock.
Yes.
They have been tremendous in supporting me.
Yes. Because they even gave you a job, right?
They did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. They own a storage facility, and they let me manage it. It just kind of worked out. The person that was running it got sick, and I was in the need of a place, and they just said, "Well, hey, let's try this out."
Yeah, and it's worked out very well for you because there's a residential...
Right. And I was able to bring my father, who was sick and not doing good, in with me, and now he's doing really well.
Yes.
You know, it gave me a home and a job and something to be proud of.
Yes, and the people at the center.
Oh, yes. Kelly Camp has been, I wouldn't have made it without her.
Yes.
You know, she's my heart.
Yes.
Yeah, she never let you get discouraged in yourself, and just watching her, you know, just gives you a lot of strength.
I know. She's been very victorious in her walk, hasn't she?
She has.
Yeah. Tell me about the ways God has worked in your life during the last year.
Oh, He's worked in every way. Like, I mean, just, you know, I can't even describe, you know. I just know now that He's there, and that's what my life is for, to live for Him and serve Him. And before, I always wanted or needed. Now I have. I don't want, I don't need. You know, if I get discouraged, I can read my daily bread, or, you know, the Bible, just a couple of verses, you know, will pull me back out of it. Or I love church.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes I can't get there, but, you know, I'm there in heart. And, you know, me and Daddy will watch Jimmy Swaggart on TV sometimes.
Yes.
So, you know.
What about your self-worth?
I went from none to a lot.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I still have, but that's, you know, I'm still in therapy. I still go to Calumet. I still do my therapy. They're still really good to me, and they help me with the little things that I still have and can't learn to let go of. You know, everybody needs a little help.
Yes, they do.
But I know that they could tell you when I came there that I didn't think I was worth anything. And now I can hold my head up and know that, yes, I am.
Yes. And that God counts us worthy, doesn't He?
Yeah, and that's really all that matters.
It really is.
You know,
and once we get that revelation that God honors us and He adores us, and that He has made us worthy, then we can live our life differently.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it don't matter what you've done, how you done it, none of that. As long as you come to Him and ask forgiveness, that's all it takes.
Okay, so what would you tell people today who are watching and maybe going through some of the same things that you went through? What would be your advice to them?
First, seek out God, because He's the ultimate healer. But also find good people. You don't have to go to church to find them. You can find them. They're there. Not that church ain't a good place to find them, but I mean, there's people out in the community. I mean, you can look them up on the internet. You can reach out to places. You know, you can go to the jail and they can tell you people.
Yes.
You know, there's plenty of ways to find help.
Yes.
And you'll never make it without it.
And there, the people who go to church are out in the community.
Yeah, those are the ones that are out in the community.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to find.
Yes.
Help. It really is.
That's great. And sometimes when you're in it, though, you might not.
You don't feel like it. No.
Yeah.
You think there's nobody there, and even if you went to somebody, they'd be like, okay, well, we can do this. But, no, they can do a lot. They can do a lot for you.
Yes. And also the Calumet Center, you don't have to enroll in their program and live there.
Right.
They do outpatient too, and offer counseling for people who
Have trauma.
Yes.
They have that EMDR therapy,
Uh-huh.
and it's for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
They really want to help you there. It's not about getting good recommendations there. They really, really care. They want to make a difference, and they are open to everybody.
Yes, they are. All right. So contrast a day in your past with a day in your present. What was a day like in your past?
Chaos. Just, if I didn't wake up, if I even went to sleep, and it's go find more drugs, or go find a way to do this and then get that, and just it was all about take and as to now, I just I wake up and I can make me some coffee, and I can go on into the office and just get organized for the day and try to help somebody if I can throughout the day, and just relax,
Yes.
calm, can breathe. I don't have to worry about 10 people behind me might jump me, or,
Yes.
it's just
Peaceful.
It really is. And then you got a place to sleep every night and plenty of food to eat.
Yeah, and you're not worried that somebody's going to come take your car
Right.
or come take your house
Right.
or come take your kids.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, so how do you feel about your past life?
Well, I wouldn't change it because it makes me a better person today. I'm more compassionate, I can see the homeless person and want to help,
Yes.
and not be the judgmental person that says, well, they should do something. Well, you don't know why they're there, Because I met a lot of people that it wasn't because of drugs they were homeless. It's they lost their job and couldn't pay their bills. And, there was a time when it was really, really hard to find a job. So, I mean, just the compassion that I got from
Yes.
I understand. Where
Yes.
some people wouldn't.
And also, I think there is a strength that we gain from having come through that, and found a better way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, in those places where there's a need to use drug or whatever, there's a hurt, there's some weakness, but through dealing with it, that hurt, you're able to heal that hurt and gain strength, and a real solid strength, right? It's where you know that
If I could make it through that,
Yes.
this is nothing.
Yes. That's right.
My worst day high couldn't compare to my worst day sober.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
there's just no... I was lost and afraid and thought I was going to die. And here I'm like, okay, well, let me see how I can fix it.
Right.
It's not the end of the world anymore.
Yes. Yeah, it's a whole different environment. It's a whole different situation that you're dealing with, and you have lots more tools to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And your head's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what message do you feel God wants you to share with others, Amy?
That you're worth more than you think. To Him, you're worth everything.
Yeah.
He gave His only Son to save us, and it's not the end of the world. Even the worst thing that could happen to you could turn into the best. And just believe in God and believe in His strength. Believe in yourself. There's nothing that you can do that He can't forgive. And you'll get everything back, because I did. I got everything that I lost and then some.
That's great. And I think it's really important to realize that God's on our side.
Yes.
Because I think lots of times when people are in that situation, they feel condemned.
Mm-hmm.
But to know that God is not condemning us, that He came into the world to save the world, not to condemn it because it was already condemned, but He came to save the world, and He came to save us and to give us a better life, one where we know Him and love Him and walk in relationship with Him. Thank you, Amy, for sharing your testimony, and thank you for watching You Make the Difference. And remember, your life truly does make a difference.
Got a promise from heaven.